We're showing up real. We are showing up authentically. We are showing up rough. I had the choice this morning I had to do press for the new book before coming on to hang out with y'all. And I had the choice this morning of showering and looking real cute or doing 10 miles. And when you have the choice of looking cute for other people or self-care, freaking always choose self-care. Yeah? So it is the first day of Didn't See That Coming book club. If you want a picture of me looking cute, she's right there. We are going to use the Target edition of the new book because the Target edition has book club questions. If you don't have the Target edition, no worries. I'm going to talk you through it. But grab a notebook, grab a pen. My intention behind this time is just to give you some thoughts, some coaching, some teaching, anything that I could think of that might help you guys as you navigate this really hard season. So the new book's called Didn't See That Coming. And typically when we do book clubs, we just go through chapter by chapter. Hopefully you've done this with me before, but we just start with what literally every single chapter of the book is about. So chapter 1, which does have a cuss word in it, so I'm going to be careful about reading that to you guys, is all about the idea. The first chapter of the new book is called I Call BS. Okay. I'll tell you that the idea for this one came from my best friend Beans. I was nearing the end of writing this book and I called her up and I said, Beans, what am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something really important in this conversation about crisis and grief and hard things. And Beans was like, man, did you ever just tell them that they're allowed to say that this sucks? Did you ever just tell your readers that whether it's COVID or a breakup or you lost your job or you lost your business or you're worried or you're scared or something has happened, did you ever just tell people that they need to take a minute to just say that this thing that they're going through is really freaking hard? Because what happens is that we try and pretend like everything's okay. Or we try and pretend that it's not really that bad. Or we compare our grief to someone else's grief and we say, yeah, but you know what? She's got it so much worse. We're like, oh, you know what? I know I'm going through something hard, but Sarah's going through something even harder. And we diminish our own pain. We diminish our own grief because we feel like we're not allowed to be able to be sad about what's happening. And so the very first chapter of the book is you just allowing yourself to call it, to just say, man, this thing really sucks. This thing is really hard. I'm going to try and get to a part where it doesn't cuss at you guys. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit from this chapter and then we're going to dig into some questions. I know it's not polite. I know it's not what good girls do. Good girls don't call BS. In fact, good girls don't even know the word BS. I'm paraphrasing for you. It seems everyone would prefer that when we're hurt or scared or uncertain, that we don't bother anyone else with it. Or at least keep our feelings to an acceptable level. Yes, we know your world is burning down around you, but do please hold on to the propriety and stoicism of that quintet who continued to play even as the Titanic went down. No, not here, my friend. This book, this time together, this is our sacred space. This is an opportunity for you to be real and raw and to hold whatever negative emotion you have about whatever you're going through. I won't judge you. I literally can't even see you right now. We're about to talk about some hard things, and every single chapter from here on out is about trying to help you get through the place you're in. But it's going to be impossible to move forward if you can't first acknowledge that it sucks mightily that you're here in the first place. So can we just say it? Can we just call that thing you went through what it is? Can we just agree that it's unfair or unjust or harsh or just awful? Feel free to use whatever descriptive words you can to call this what it is. Be sure and add in cuss words too if the spirit moves. After all, it's not like anyone can hear your inner thoughts. It's just me, you, and the reality that the thing you went through, it's the freaking worst. Yep, I said it. 2 cuss words in play, and it's not even chapter 1. But you know what? So what? Right now, in this exact moment in my life, I am so sick of the words, I'm sorry, I could punch something. When my brother committed suicide, everyone was sorry. When we lost those twin babies we had loved and hoped to make a part of our family, everyone was sorry. When my marriage ended, everyone was sorry. I appreciate the sentiment and the prayers and the well wishes, but here's something only people who've gone through hard things understand. Other people being sorry only adds to your pain. When people say they're sorry, the polite response is, it's okay, or I'm fine, or some other inane platitude to make the other person feel safe to be around your misery. I'm not okay. I'm 10,000 different emotions, none of which I want to handle in a polite way right now, and I don't think you should either. So let's just acknowledge that this sucks. Then let's go one better. Let's acknowledge how frightening this is, and how hard it is, and how much we wish it weren't happening. And let's allow ourselves to be deeply disappointed by the unfairness of it all. Oh, I'm sure you've had all kinds of feelings about the state that you're in. But when crisis happens, the emotions that swirl to the top are big and violent in their consumption of us. Disappointment seems a small word and feeling by comparison, but at its core, what it means is that someone or something has failed to live up to your hopes and expectations. Maybe your partner disappointed you. Maybe your child disappointed you. Maybe the economy came crashing down just when you were starting to make strides in your finances and it's disappointed you. Maybe life disappointed you because what you hoped for and dreamed of feels impossible because of loss. Maybe all of this feels like just another disappointment in a string of many. And maybe if you can allow yourself to be honest about what it feels like for you, instead of pretending that you're strong enough to ignore the negative emotions, you'll actually be able to overcome and move forward. So, if you're just joining us, that is the first chapter of Didn't See That Coming. It is the first day of book club. I will be here every single day for the next couple of weeks at this time, doing just taking you guys through some teachings and some lessons. And I guess what I'd love to start with, because I know we don't always get a chance to interact, you and me, face to face and in this moment, is I'd love to hear what's disappointing right now. I'd love to hear what feels hard. If you're willing to share it, and just be mindful that if you're commenting in a public place and thousands of people are watching. But what feels hard? Or what feels hardest? Or where are you at, right? This year has been crazy. This year has been wild. This year has been awful at times and beautiful at times. And I feel like someone just said everything feels hard. I understand that, Ginger. Tammy said everything feels hard. Lack of human contact. Absolutely. College online. My father has cancer. I just got rejected from my second nursing school. 10-year relationship fell apart. Sticking to my goals, not hiding from them. Losing a friend during COVID. I mean, I think the really interesting thing, let's start here. For the first time in our lifetime, all of us are experiencing the same crisis together. You know, there's many times over the course of my life that you'll see something on the news and it strikes you as painful or hard, but it's not your reality. And right now we're experiencing this thing where we are all going through it. So what I first want you to cling to, if you can, is that you are not alone in the pain that you feel. The pain that you feel is unique to you. The hardship you are going through is unique to you, but you are not the only person right now who's going through something hard. We are as a human species encountering something hard. And what I also want you to hear me say, with so much respect and love for you, please listen to me, because that was the moment where I love you, and this is the moment that I'm going to coach you. That's why you come here. If you just want a hug, you probably go somewhere else. If you want a hug and a kick in the pants, get ready, because here it is. This is not the only hard thing you're going to go through. 2020 is not the only hard time you are going to go through in the rest of your life. Sit in that for a minute. So many people are obsessing. I heard it on the radio this morning. Everyone's like, oh, I can't wait until 2020 is over. As soon as 2020 is over, we just got to get through this year. We just got to get through this election. We just got to get through this thing. Y'all, you are going to wake up on January 1st with the exact same life you had on December 31st. The exact same one. So if you are waiting for a new year, if you are waiting for a Monday, if you are waiting for the start of a new month to change your attitude, to change your mindset, to change your heart and the way that you look at the world, please let me be the one to tell you, you got to do it in this moment. Okay? The idea behind starting this book with calling it what it is and saying that it sucks and saying that it's hard is because you've got to face what reality is. These are the problems that are stacked up in front of you. Shout out, where are my business owners on here? Where are the entrepreneurs, the people with the side hustle, the people who got laid off and now you're building your first company, the people who are trying to figure it out and making it work? I see you. I am you. I started this year and the bulk of my business was built in live events that I can no longer have. And I didn't pivot one time. I feel like I've pivoted 25 times and it keeps happening. And it's not, when you're a business owner, it's not just you. It's not just your family who's counting on you. It's the family of the people that you work with. It's the vendors. It's all of these partners that you are here with. And you have to decide, are you going to wait for some outside force to make it better? Or are you just going to go, okay, I'm going to look at what I have in front of me. I'm going to look, what are my resources? What do I have available to me? What can I do in this moment? And how am I going to move forward from here? How am I going to move forward in this day with what I've got? How am I going to try and make it better? You know, I get, the thing that I get picked on the internet for most, which is fine, I'm fine with this, is that people say I'm too positive. They're like, too positive, toxic positivity, too optimistic. Like, number one, to me, what is the alternative? To sit and wallow and think that life sucks and the universe is out to get you and that people are awful and everyone's terrible and it's only going to get worse? No. Reality says, like, this is a freaking superpower. That I can look at what is. I can look at the times that are hard. I can look at things that suck. I can look at how little money is in that bank account. I can look at what is, and I can stand back up and reach for joy and reach for positivity. It starts by acknowledging what is. It starts by letting yourself, listen to me, let yourself grieve what you have lost. Toxic positivity is pretending that the bad stuff didn't happen. Okay? It's pretending that it's not really that hard. But the superpower is when you can look at things that are hard and you can go, yeah, but you know what? My kids are healthy. Yep, that thing is happening and that piece of my business is crumbling, but you know what? All the people that I love are safe. Yeah, the political system is a disaster and social media is making everybody hate each other and we're so divided. But you know what? Thank God I live in a country that allows me the freedom to go vote tomorrow. Because not everybody watching this has that. Right? The superpower is looking for the good even in the hardship. The superpower is being so thankful for a great cup of coffee and your fuzzy sweatpants and your dog and your 8-year-old telling you a joke. That's a superpower. But in order to hone that superpower, you've got to look at what actually is. And then you have to take ownership of your reality and know that nobody, I love you, I freaking love you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's gonna fix this. Nobody's gonna make it better. This is your life. This is your reality. This is your moment. This is your month. This is your November. This is your year. Right here. And the hard thing that you're going through is setting the tone for all the other hard stuff you're going to go through. Like this year, yes, freaking hard for so many of us. But when you have something happen 4 years from now, 5 years from now, that's even worse. Because that's how life is sometimes. You are going to look back on how you process this pain. You are going to look back on how you handled this thing. And you are going to ask yourself, man, when it got hard, did I show up? Did I keep living my life? Did I try my best? Did I do whatever I could with what I had? Or did I pull the covers over my head? Because people are handling this right now in one of two ways. And you don't have to make big, grandiose, amazing strides. That is not, sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is just get out of bed today, right? I am not asking you to move mountains right now. I'm asking you to take a shower. Well, it's me saying that, and I have not showered yet today is, whatever. But I'm asking you to show up for your life. That's a superpower. That makes you unfreaking stoppable. That means that no matter what is happening, you are able to take it on, right? So let me dig in. I'm seeing some questions from you guys, and I want to answer these on Instagram. My phone was telling me that my battery's low. Okay, and then we're going to dig into questions that are in the book. So someone just said, if you have questions, just write them out for me. I'm going to try and answer them real quick. If you're just joining me, this is book club for my new book. Didn't see that coming. We're using the Target edition, which has questions in the back, but you can get this in hardback, on ebook, on audio. If you want me to read it to you, you can get it anywhere books are sold. Someone just said, how did you deal with your PTSD? Lots of therapy and lots of research on how to deal with PTSD. Basically how I deal with everything. I wore my show up hat today. Fantastic. I left my show up hat at the office, or I'd be wearing it right now too. How have you not lost faith? What a good question. When you say faith, I think of two kinds of faith. I think of faith in myself, and I think of faith in my Creator. And I have not lost faith in God, my Creator, or the things I was raised to believe, because I have seen evidence of something divine in my life more times than I can count. I have seen it. I think you see it right now when you look at human beings showing up for each other and the goodness that is happening in the world, even in the midst of hardship. But I also just feel something divine around me at all times. I don't know how to explain it. What I think maybe you're asking is, how do you not lose faith in yourself? How do you not lose faith in your dreams, even when things get hard? And sometimes that's all you have, right? Sometimes all you have is the vision of your life and the future and where you believe that you can take this thing. And if I lose my dreams, I've lost everything. If I lose that faith, I've lost it all. And so I cling to it with both hands, right? And I have days where I'm feeling low, and then I allow myself to have that low day. I allow myself to cry. I allow myself to feel all the things that I'm feeling. And then I wake up tomorrow and I go again. I wake up tomorrow and I remember who I am. I posted on Instagram, and I think on Facebook too, if you guys haven't seen it. I posted this morning about how to motivate yourself when you're not feeling motivated. And those are real things that I do. Those are real things that I do when I'm having a hard time. So I just want you to be mindful. The world will try and tell you that everything is hard and everything is awful and everything sucks. And that's true. if you believe it. And also, if you believe it, there's endless opportunity. And people are incredible. And we can actually do life with those who are not like us. And you have blessings all around you. You create your own reality. I'm co-parenting now, my kids. They spend half their week with their dad and half their week with me. And I don't have them on Mondays. And every Monday morning, I send a text. My two oldest boys have phones, and so we're on a group text together. And every Monday morning, I send a text to the boys. And every Monday, I say, we create our own reality. I want you guys to remember that we are in charge of how we look at this week, and how I hope we look at this week is with kindness for others, with love for ourselves, with optimism and excitement about what we're going to do. Every single Monday, I change up the things that I'm saying, but the intent is always there. I want to make sure that this is not just something that I am keeping the faith in myself, but that I am that it's trickling down to my kids too. So let's dig into some questions, because I know some of you have notebooks. You don't have the Target edition. That's okay. But if you do have the Target edition, in the back are book club questions for every single chapter of the book, so you can kind of dig in more detail. So one of the things, this is the first question in the back of the book, but this is really powerful. Listen to me. This is really powerful for us as we go into the end of this year and the start of a new one, is setting the intention for what you want. What do you want? Have you asked that question? And guys, I want you to get really, my roof makes weird noises, don't worry about it. I want you guys to get really specific with what it is that you want. And yes, it's fun to be like, oh, I want, a Mercedes, and I want a fancy purse, and I want money, and I want whatever. When I ask you, like, what do you want your life to feel like? What are the values that you want to bring? What are the things that you want as part of a day? If you're a parent, how do you want to show up for your kids? If you're a college student, what do you want out of 2021? Who do you want to be? How do you want to grow? If you call your shot, I swear to you, it is possible to achieve it. But most people are going through life aiming at nothing. You're just trying to survive, right? You're just trying to keep your head above water. You're just trying to, oh my gosh, I want to like be okay, right? You're just trying to stay in it. And so you never take the space. You never give yourself that space to ask where it is you want to go. So as you head into the new year, you've got to ask yourself, how do you want to show up? And better yet, don't wait until January to ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question right now. How do I want my life to feel? Do I want energy? Do I want more joy? Do I want more great dinners? Do I want more faith? Do I want more time with my friends? Everything is achievable if you call the shot. And let me just tell you, if you're new to this process of setting intentions, I can tell you right now that when you first start, you will call a shot or you will set intentions and later realize that wasn't exactly what you wanted, right? Like, for instance, I think of like back in the day, oh my gosh, all I wanted in the world was for my business to be successful. I had worked at it for years and I just so badly wanted for my business to be successful. And that was the intent every day. Here's where we're going. And I had my, start today journal and I'm writing it down and the start today journal didn't exist yet. I was writing it down in my notebook every day. Oh, I'm so hot. And all I wanted in the world was for my business to be successful. And then my business became successful. And we were doing revenue and we were making the kind of money that I had only dreamed about. And I was miserable because the amount of work that was required for me to keep it at that level meant that I wasn't present for my life. I wasn't there for my kids. I was always exhausted. It was a really hard time. And I thought, oh, you set your intent wrong. Right? You didn't know. You didn't know what you were asking. And now when you set your intention, you can say, man, I want to be successful and I want to create jobs that's really powerful for me. And I want to be able to have this team and I want to be able to do this work. And I want my life to be great, and I don't want to be stressed out, and I want to be present for my kids, and I can sort of carve out my intentions in a better way. So you have to know what it is that you want. And one of the things that I recommend, I do all my work in notebooks. Honestly, this is why I'm always telling you guys, grab your notebook. Before I ever had a journal, I didn't have any planner, I didn't have anything fancy. I would just journal to myself in a notebook. Hey, where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What kind of mom do you want to be? What are the values that you want to hold in your life? So you can get a lot of thoughts sort of processed alone with a notebook. So one of the things that's here too, and this can be really powerful for those of you, if you don't have the Target version of the book, is to describe the life that you have today and then ask yourself, what's the life that you want to have tomorrow? So something that I have learned in this last year, if you've hung out with me for a long time, then you know that I talk a lot about where do you want to be in 10 years? 10 years from today, where do you want to be? Call that shot, see the vision, all of those things. But in times of crisis, 10 years often feels way too hard, way too far. And so I ask, pull it closer, pull the dream closer. Where do you want to be in 5 years? If that's too much, where do you want to be a year from today? Or where do you want to be in 6 months? Pull it as close as you need to so that it doesn't overwhelm you. And then imagine in detail the person you want to be, the life you want to have, the things that you want to do. Because if you can get that specific about where it is that you're headed, I swear to you, you can figure out how to get there. So this is a new book. Didn't see that coming. I'm going to be hanging out here every day for the next couple of weeks, teaching and coaching and answering questions. So let's spend the last few minutes that we have together right now. Let's figure out, sorry, I just got distracted by a question. Let me answer your question. So I'm looking over here on Instagram, I'm looking on Facebook, and I'd love to answer specifically on these topics: setting intention, reaching for positivity and joy in hard seasons, how you map that out. So Jamie just said, January 1st sounds as far as I can think. Jamie, I think that's like so real and such a good point. So pull it in. Like when Dave and I first split up, I couldn't think further than the week. Everything narrowed down to, I got to show up for the kids today. I got to make dinner. I got to get them in bed. I got to keep this day positive for them. I've got to do this thing for them today. That was as much as I could focus on. And now I feel like I'm back out to a year, right? So I can envision a year from today, but I'm not yet back out to a decade. And I'm super freaking graceful with myself in this process. And I'm not going to rush this process because this is a lot and it's hard and it's heavy. And it's going to take a lot of therapy and a lot of work, and I'm being graceful. So just pull it as close as you need to. So Andrea said, I feel stuck. How do I keep working on it if I can't pinpoint what's wrong? So Andrea, for me, I would say if I can't pinpoint what's going on, instead of pushing myself, I want to pull into myself and start unpacking. Like, you cannot get anywhere if you don't first figure out where you are right now. And where you are right now is something's blocking you. So you've got to spend the time to understand what that is. Honestly, I know I'm a broken record, but it's it's free. It's not that hard to do. One of the most powerful things you can do is grab a notebook and just start writing. Give yourself a set amount of time. Don't question it. Don't overthink it, and just write whatever comes to your brain. I'm feeling stuck right now because, and just go. And after about 10 minutes, you're going to think you've said everything that you had to say. You haven't. Make yourself sit there. Make yourself sit there for 30 minutes or even an hour, because if you know that you are not allowed to do anything but journal, stuff starts to bubble up and stuff starts to be revealed to you. You didn't even know you were thinking. You're like, oh, dang, okay, that's what's going on. So you got to figure out what that block is. If you are blessed enough to be able to afford therapy, oh my gosh, I cannot recommend it enough. Work this through with a therapist, but you got to figure out where you are right now. Okay, let's see what Instagram is wondering. Let's see. What do you recommend when you can't get traction on your goals? Thank you, Brianna. So if you can't get traction, you've got to figure out why. You know, they say the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And often people are like, I just got to work harder. I just got to put my head down. I just got to go more. No, you don't. You have to ask yourself, why am I not seeing the results that I want to see? Either you're not being totally honest with yourself about what you're really doing. You're not really being real. Okay, you know, I probably didn't put in as much work as I wanted to, or, ooh, I'm making those choices when I shouldn't, or I didn't quite call as many people as I said I was going to go, or whatever your particular goal is. Or you're like, no, Rach, I'm working my butt off and I'm not seeing results. Okay, well, you're working on the wrong things. One of my favorite books on this topic, if that feels like you, is The One Thing by Gary Keller. The One Thing by Gary Keller. Highly recommend, which will help you figure out what you should actually be working on. Okay, let's go over to Facebook. So let's see. I'm going to look for questions. Tawny said, how do you keep showing up for your loved ones when they unintentionally keep putting you down for it? Don't keep showing up for them. Like, okay, if these are your kids, then ignore what I said. Our kids, you know, even if they're ornery, this is the job that we took on when we became parents, is that we're going to keep showing up. But Tawny, my gut is that this isn't your kids. You're talking about other people is my gut here. And so if that's the case, stop showing up for them. Why would you continue to show up for people who not only don't appreciate it, but are putting you down for your efforts? Why? Because they're your family? No. If you have love in your heart to help other people, there are literally millions of people right now who could use your love and support. Pour that energy out on those who can actually use it. Stop trying to get love from people that you're trying to get love from by hurting yourself. I know that many of us were raised in environments and families that did not teach us the right way to be in relationship with others, but I promise you that the answer is not to destroy yourself to try and help other people feel better. It's just not. Okay, I'm going to go off on a tangent, but honestly, meet me here tomorrow. Tomorrow, noon central, I'm back. We're digging into the next chapter of the book. It is called Didn't See That Coming. It is available anywhere books are sold. We're doing book club for the next couple weeks. Hey, can I ask real quick, you guys, for those of you who have read the book and are doing book club with me and hopefully are getting something out of this time, will you go review the book? If you have time, it really is a huge deal to help other readers figure out whether or not it's the right book for them. So if you've got literally 2 minutes, would you just take a moment and review the book for me? Okay, I will see you tomorrow. I promise I'm going to look cute then. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to have makeup. My eyebrows will be penciled in. It'll all be better. Meet me back here tomorrow at noon. I love you. I'm rooting for you. Have a fantastic day.